Good morning. Welcome to another KCC Devotional. We're in Hebrews chapter 11. Today we're going to focus on verse 24 to verse 26. By faith Moses, when he became of age, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he looked to the reward. And you might recall in our previous devotion we spoke about those early months in Moses' life as a baby, where his parents defied the Pharaoh and they hid Moses for 3 months. That was a step of obedience. That was a step of faith, and it took courage to do that. And now the writer to the letter to the Hebrews is pointing to a second period of his life. By faith Moses, when he became of age, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. We know the story of Moses, how he was raised in the royal courts of the Pharaoh by the princess, the Pharaoh's daughter. And so you can imagine the upbringing that he had. You can imagine all that he would have inherited, as within that royal family. But the fact is that he was willing to renounce all of that when he discovered who he was. And I think the point here is to show that, faith, genuine faith, it will have an effect upon our identity. Moses could no longer identify with the royal family of Egypt. Moses understood that he was part of the people of God. And even though that would mean suffering along with those people, he preferred and he chose to be identified with his people because of his faith. And again, think about what that cost him. Think about what he was willing to renounce. And there is such a lesson for us in that. It says, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin. That's when you know when it's genuine faith. All that he was willing to give up, to suffer together with the people of God, knowing that they belonged to God, and that was enough for him. There were, no luxuries to look forward to right there and then. They were a people in slavery at that particular point. But Moses was willing to identify with them because of his faith, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he looked to the reward. And that's quite an interesting thing to say, esteeming the reproach of Christ. And I just want to suggest to you what he's saying here, because obviously he's trying to encourage these people, his readers, to stay faithful to God. And that means suffering together the reproach of Christ. And I think he's trying to identify Moses with that too. In the same way that Moses was willing to suffer for his faith, then the writer is saying, we need to be willing to suffer for our faith, but looking beyond the affliction, looking beyond the persecution, the rejection, and all of that, looking to the reward, a greater reward than anything than this life can offer us, more than the riches of Pharaoh's courts, for example. And so let that be an encouragement to us. Maybe you're going through affliction, you're going through trial, tribulation, persecution, rejection, all these things because of your faith, and yet your conscience bears witness to your identity. And you say, I'd rather go through this than identify with the things of this world, with the passing pleasures of sin in this world. I'd rather keep pushing forward and struggling on and pressing on towards the goal, knowing that there is a greater reward than anything that this world can offer. So be encouraged, keep going, keep pressing on. Know that there are riches beyond this world. There are things to be gained that the things of this world do not compare with in the life to come. May God bless you. Have a wonderful day.